Greetings, everybody. This is Time Trader with what is become my daily dual watch. So this is the Tudor North Flag. This watch was kind of created by Tudor originally to show off their manufacture movement. So it was the first watch that they released that had their in-house movement in it, which is a big step for Tudor to differentiate themselves from just being a cheaper Rolex. I'm the kind of person where I really enjoy funkier designs. I like things that are a little bit different, kind of go against the traditional. And so this is a nice combination of being subtle and kind of sporty, but also having a little flair to it that keeps it interesting. So I'm going to go into a couple of details. We'll start with the dial. It's nice and legible. That's a big one. Obviously, the matte black background. But the white indices and hands are applied, and they're applied in a way where you can actually see the grooves where the lume is filled into it. So it's got this nice sort of 3D effect. I think you can see it there with the hour arrow. That just gives it a very high quality look, even though it's almost kind of a cheaper style. Not to say cheap, but having a little arrow and some splashes of yellow doesn't scream luxury watch. So it really, the finishing needs to be very nice, and it's definitely there. The really only downside would be this date window for me. I don't like that it's just cut out. I do like that they didn't put half of an indice here, or a marker, or whatever you want to call them, because I don't like when date windows look like someone cut into a watch that was already designed. So at least it leaves a balance to the dial, because at 9 o'clock you have a power reserve complication, so it does balance it out at least. So that's the only reason why I give a pass on having a date window that isn't necessarily finished how I like it to. I generally prefer there to be some sort of box around it or integrated with the shape of the watch, or even at 6 o'clock. But going with the sort of hybrid between a Rolex Explorer 1 and even, you could say, a Genta design because of the integrated bracelet, the 12 and the 6 give it a lot of legibility. I like having Arabic numerals just in the sense of reading at a glance is much easier because you have something that you're used to seeing. I can go, 6, 3, versus going, okay, where's 6? There it is, and then counting up. Or even looking for 3 and counting because there's no marker there because the date window's in the way. So I'm going to get thumbprints all over this thing. Let me wipe it off quick. All right. So the other things going on in the dial here, the big one is obviously the splash of yellow. So at first I did not like that, and that's why I didn't get this watch. I ended up getting a Black Bay 36, but it's because when you look at watches in pictures and you look at them online, the colors are all blown up because you're looking at it sort of on your computer screen, and it's this big compared to the watch really being the size of your wrist. And so when you get it in person, these accent colors aren't as obvious as they are in pictures. And so it really is an accent. It's not... this watch doesn't scream yellow unless you really look at it. And I like that. I like the yellow because it ends up being pretty neutral. I was surprised. I was very happily surprised, actually, that the yellow kind of goes with everything. Because I tend to wear a lot of grays and greens and earth colors or black. And obviously it goes with black, and yellow goes with green, so it kind of works. This is the watch I wear Monday through Friday at work. I work out with this watch. I wear this all the time. It's got some scuffs on it and stuff from it, and I do not baby this thing, as you can tell by me jangling it around. I will never sell it. This one will stay with me forever, so I will abuse it all I want because I will not be passing this on to anybody. So that's the face. Let's go into... Oh, actually, last thing with the face. This arrow right here, I hated it when I first saw it in pictures. In practice, in real life, this is now something I look for in all my watches. It's funny how you look at stuff online and you kind of get this impression of, I don't really like the arrow. It looks weird. It's kind of funky. And then when you wear it, you realize it makes it so easy to tell the time compared to just two sticks that are the same shape, because a shape differential, not just length, makes it way quicker to figure the time out. And when you're just glancing at it, which it is a tool watch and I use it at work, that's something that is very nice. And it's something I actually look for from an aesthetic standpoint now too, because I've just grown to love it. The case itself is pretty thick, but because of the integrated lugs, the lug to lug length is not that long. So this is a 40 millimeter watch, which is really the upper end of what I can wear with a 6.5 inch wrist. But because of how the lugs are and the fact that these aren't stiff, because I see a lot of integrated lug bracelets where instead of it being like this, the watch case, this first link is kind of stuck in at a specified angle and then the rest hangs free. And that makes it really uncomfortable for me because I have flat wrists. Where on this, it's like a normal bracelet. And so it kind of wears more like a 39 or a 38, even though it has a lot of wrist presence. The bezel here, which actually looking at it from the front in pictures, I didn't even know this was on it until I started really researching the watch, is this matte ceramic, which in contrast to all the little scuffs and marks, just remains perfect because it's ceramic. And it adds this really cool finish where the rest of the watch is kind of scuffed and fingerprints and whatever. And then you've got this perfect bezel. And then the stainless steel secondary bezel, which it's got little scratches and stuff on it. So yeah, I don't know, I love this watch. Bracelet wise, this is my favorite part, even though I've kind of gushed about the rest of it. The integrated bracelet is just fantastic. It's incredibly comfortable. It's really solid, and the action on it is crisp. And they use these little ceramic balls instead of steel so that they never really wear out. Now, I don't think that adds a ton of value to it because I work with ceramic ball bearings in one of my businesses, but, and they're really not that much more expensive in the sense of how much a watch cost, but it's something where I like those attention to detail because this is a watch I'm going to keep for a very long time. And I'm curious to see how the steel on the inside of here holds up to the hardness of the white ceramic ball bearing balls. So we'll see how that goes. It does give it a very crisp and secure feel though, which is nice. One thing I did notice with this over, say, the Black Bay 41 is that the bracelet has an extra link that is you can pull out from this end, which for me is very important because this clasp takes up like the entire bottom of my wrist. And so in order to have it fit in here, you can see it goes right to the edge. I need to shorten this side all the way and then put all the extension links on this end, just because I have very flat, thin wrists. And so I like that about this watch, but it was something that even though the Black Bay 41 fit me, I couldn't get the bracelet to be comfortable. And this one is perfect. So that's what it looks like on my wrist. I typically wear it more down here than anything, but that's what it looks like on the wrist. Let me focus. Like I said, I have a 6.5 inch wrist, so that's on the smaller end of things. I don't think the thickness is an issue for me because I have pretty big arms because I do competitive powerlifting. So even though I got little tiny wrists, my arms kind of proportion out a little bit of a thicker watch. So as long as the lug to lug is good, I can generally get away with thicker watches. But yeah, this is the, of course, I'm doing great for 9 minutes and then I'm going to screw it up at the end. But the big thing I love about this watch, and this is something that you only notice when you've been living with a watch. I wear it Monday through Friday, sometimes Monday through Thursday, just because occasionally I'll take Friday off from work. And what I've noticed is that the power reserve on it lasts so long because of the manufacture movement. I believe it's something like 70 hours that I can take the watch off on Friday and I can see that the power reserve is full, which you can get it up there pretty quick too. We'll do it while I talk. That it will last all the way through until Monday when I put it on to go to work. And so the reason why this power reserve is very nice is that I don't have a watch winder. I just use a watch box. So I can glance quickly at the power reserve, and as long as it's not on empty, I know I can just throw the watch on. I don't have to set the date or the time or anything because it's still running off of how charged it was from me wearing it on Friday, which to me is a big convenience on Monday morning when I'm going to work. it's nice to just kind of grab the watch, look at it, and go, oh, I don't have to set it, and I'm good. The only times I've had to set it is when I don't wear it for 4 days or more, which makes sense because 70 hours is about 3 days. So that would be about it. Oh, and the loom, which I will take a picture and try to post it in here on the video. I'm going to figure out how to do a loom section, but the loom is a blue, which is really cool. It's like a super luminova that it looks very white, which I like. I don't like the aged loom looking thing, especially on a watch like this. And it looks as white as the markers and hands are. And then at night, it's like this really subtle darkish blue that you can see maybe 5 or 6 hours after the lights go out without purposely charging it. So that's, yeah, that is the Tudor North Flag. And it is my beater watch, I guess you could call it, even though it's probably the most expensive watch I own. Which I guess is just having your priorities right? All right, guys, this has been Time Trader. This is one I will not be trading, but I will have other unique pieces coming in and out. And as I get to them, I will be making reviews such as this. This is obviously my first video, so please leave me a little bit of feedback down below. Let me know what you want included, what you don't like. Tell me to stop saying all the time, etc., etc. I plan on trying to get a little better at this as we go, but I have had a lot of fun watching other people talk about watches, and I wanted to contribute more than anything. I don't have plans on becoming some big watch review channel and trying to get free watches, or I enjoy the content that other people put out, and I wanted to contribute. So this has been Time Trader, and I'll see you guys around.